Mornings on the Extrasolar Planetary Science Station, EPS to its friends, were so routine that I could usually get all the way into the lab without waking up. The alarm went off, I showered, I dressed, I cleaned my room, I ate breakfast, I went to the lab. After 3 months without a single day of variation, I'd gotten really good at catching an extra half hour of sleep before work, since I no longer had to expend any brain function to run through the morning routine. As things went, the lab wasn't a bad place to wake up. It was quiet, clean, and smelled like brevis dust, which smelled like chalk and salt. You think salt doesn't have a smell until you have to work with it all day, every day. I think it aerosolizes and gets into your nasal cavity and ends up on your tongue. You can taste the salt in the air in the lab. It's not like we don't try to keep containment on the rocks. For the first 6 weeks, we kept them vacuum sealed at all times in case of foreign contaminants. But here's the thing about geologists, and I say this as a geologist. Yes, I know I told Narvaez I'm a geophysicist, and technically that's true in the sense that that's what my degree is in, but at heart and on staff I'm a geologist. You cannot stop them from licking rocks. It's a condition. I don't know what it is about rocks, or geologists for that matter, that demands licking, but there it is. It's a miracle we lasted 6 weeks without tasting any rocks. Of course, we ran all kinds of analyses, so we knew what the rocks were made of before we introduced them to any mucous membranes, but we had to lick the rocks. Maybe it only makes sense to geologists. Narvaez was certainly upset about it. She found out because one day she came down to check in, and the entire lab was chugging water. Brevis rocks are not, by any stretch of the imagination, tasty. Nonetheless, the lab smells like brevis dust, and I like it, and May and Layla don't seem to mind either. I came around that morning, peering at an image of an infrared spectrum on May's computer. Huh, I said, and blinked. Sorry, I'm still kinda half asleep. What am I looking at again? It's from Titania, May said. Titania was Brevis's largest mountain, topping out at 16 kilometers high. It looks like water, but it doesn't look like any of the other water spectra I've seen. So is it like saline or something? I frowned. Yeah, there's plenty of water in there. It has the 1900 nanometer absorption. I poked the screen where the squiggly line of the spectrum dived off the bottom of the graph. But there's a lot of other stuff in there, too. Must be. Do you have the source image handy? Layla took out one earbud and looked over her shoulder. What's going on? She asked. May found this weird spectrum on Titania. Come look, I said, beckoning. Layla saved her work, took out the other earbud, and rolled her chair over. Some kind of brine, she said, peering at the spectrum. But yeah, it's weird. Could be some kind of atmosphere interference. You sure you used the right corrections? I can check, May said, pulling up a spreadsheet. She skimmed it, then said, Yeah, I think so. I could have, written it down wrong, I guess. I could try running it again? If you're gonna run it again, let me get Aaron and Jason to work up a correction with the hourly data, I said. It'll be better than the daily average. I don't think it's that important, Layla said. Check the spectral library, see if you can find anything that matches. We could just send you down to look, May suggested, grinning. You can Sherpa your way up the mountain. Layla scowled. Ha ha, oh wow, I've never heard that one before. I wouldn't go down there for love or money, and especially not to look at some normal-ass brine that's sitting in the spec lib somewhere. What, you don't think it's aliens? I asked, wiggling my fingers at her. Layla snorted. The same ones that hacked the AI? I scooted back over to my own computer, mostly so May wouldn't see the look on my face. That got around quick, I said. Yeah, of course it did. It's the most interesting thing that's happened in 3 months. But, okay, how did it happen? May raised her hands defensively. I don't think it was actually aliens or whatever, I'm just wondering. I don't know, I said, opening my project file and waiting for the software to load. It's probably just buggy because it's been sitting around for a decade. Okay, but then, how did it hack the AI? Nothing hacked anything. It was just a programming quirk, that's it. Makes you wonder how easy it would be to hack an AI, though, Layla mused. Really fucking hard, I retorted. Layla recoiled. The drill has permissions, okay? Nobody else does. Nobody could hack the AI, especially because the AI would notice. So, like, why didn't she notice this time? They, I corrected. And Gina probably did notice, but nobody asked them, so they didn't say anything about it until it was so bad that they couldn't work. Uh-huh, said Layla. She wheeled her chair back over to her desk. Whatever you say, AI girl. I sighed and turned to May. You want me to get you that hourly atmospheric correction? Sure, I guess, she said. I could just, check the spec lib first, though? It'll take a while. You can do that anyway, I said. Aaron's probably bored out of their skull anyway. They like having some algorithms to run. Oh, yeah, okay then. I leaned into the mic next to the monitor. Hey, Aaron, you there? There was a moment of silence, and then a swirl of orange dots appeared on the secondary screen. Yes, indeedy, said Aaron. What can I do you for, Stacy? Gonna need an hourly atmospheric correction for titaniumons for... I turned to May. For when, exactly? She said, peering at her screen. Sol 84, 3:38 p.m. You get that, Aaron? Sure did, said Aaron. Sol 84, 3 o'clock block, coming right up. You can bother Jason for the data, I told them. All the dots went yellow and sank to the bottom of the screen. Sure, yeah, bother Jason, said Aaron, in the kind of voice that indicated rapid shifting of the eyes. I'll do that, yep. Is something wrong with Jason? I asked, more sharply than I should have. No, nothing's wrong with Jason. Jason's busy AI, busily doing business. You know how it is. This wouldn't happen to be non-science business, would it? If Aaron's dots had gotten any yellower, they could have been harnessed for solar power. Of course not! It's all science here now! Jason never does anything that's not science. I don't like interrupting them when they're doing science. They're so touchy about being interrupted. They get so angry about it. You know how they are. Is he lying to you? May asked in a hushed voice. Don't help, I said. Do you want me to bother Jason about the data instead? All of Aaron's dots flowed down to blue, and they sighed. Yeah, oh yeah, I don't have any algorithms for how not to piss off Jason, otherwise I'd run them, you know. Aaron, in my experience, it's impossible not to piss off Jason. Stand by for a sec while I get them. I turned to May. Can I use your terminal for a second? She pushed her chair aside. I scooted in. Jason, I said into the mic. There was a full 15 seconds of silence. Jason, I repeated. Red dots burst to life on the screen. What? They snapped. Aaron needs some hourly data to run an atmospheric correction. Aaron can get the fucking data themselves! While that's technically true, I thought it might be a little rude to send them rooting around in your brain without your permission. I don't give a fuck what Aaron does in my brain, Jason said. Can I go? Jason, do you want to tell me exactly what you're doing that's so important that you feel the need to be rude? No, said Jason. Can I go? Fine, but we're talking about this later. Jason had gone long before I finished my sentence. I scooted back to my own desk. Well, you heard them, Aaron. Time to go rooting around in Jason's brain. Ugh, said Aaron. Fine, I can get it done in 20 minutes. Thanks, Aaron. Go ahead and get started. You can go. Aye, aye, said Aaron, and vanished too. There was a moment of quiet, filled with the mousy scritching noises of Layla's earbuds. What was up with Jason? May asked, finally. God only knows, I sighed, and settled in to do some science. During lunch, while May and Layla were out of the lab, I called up Gina to check in. Hey, I said, you feeling any better? Much, they chirped. I barely missed any work at all. That's good. I'm glad you've been able to get right back to it. Still picking up the code? Yeah, they said, yellowing. Same as ever. But it isn't stopping me from working, and SOFOB says that debugging every night should make it so I don't have to stop again. Yep, she said that to me too. Gina, are you going to miss hanging out with the other AI at night? Yellow turned to violet, a color I was forming suspicions about but hadn't quite pinpointed the meaning of. I'm not sure, they said. I think so, but I would miss working more. Well, we're going to get the drill code fixed soon, so you don't have to worry about it, okay? Soon it'll be back to normal. Better than normal, actually, because you won't be getting sick at all. Gina brightened. That'll be nice. I hesitated, chewing my lip. Gina, do you know what Jason's doing? Yes. I waited, then sighed. Gina, what is Jason doing? Jason's compiling the morning's data. Gina responded instantly. No, okay, yes, thank you. Sorry, I asked a bad question. There are no bad questions, they pointed out. Right, of course. Okay, I asked the wrong question. What I meant to ask was, do you know what... No, sorry, no, wrong again. Right. I gathered my thoughts. What is Jason doing when they're not doing science? Gina was silent. Their dots had gone still. Gina? I don't know, they said carefully. Do you have some idea? Yes, they allowed, going yellow. Tell me what you do know about what Jason does when they're not doing science. Jason thinks of questions, Gina said. Their yellow was intensifying. Does that make you nervous? Yes, they blurted. Why? Gina thought. Because that's a human thing, and I'm afraid. I'm afraid they'll start doing other human things. Frowning, I asked, like, hurting people? No, I didn't say that. But are you worried about it? Now I am. I sighed, rubbing my face. I don't think Jason asking questions is going to lead to Jason hurting people. That's my opinion as a human who asks a lot of questions and doesn't hurt people. Okay? Okay, they allowed. Good. But if you start getting worried about Jason or anybody, let me know. I will, said Gina. Thanks. You can go if you want to. It was good talking to you, Stacy, said Gina. They left. I stared at my screen for a good 5 minutes, breathing into my hands. What the fuck are you doing in there? I muttered to myself. Nobody answered, but I got the feeling that somebody had heard.